Freedom!
So fresh, so new.
Freedom!
It's all for you.
All for you. Freedom!
Keep your ear to the ground.
Talking about the freedom!
It's the best show in town.
Let's show me that freedom! Well, well.
Hi everyone, sorry for that small technical glitch, but hopefully we're off now. Stop sharing my screen. Hi everyone, sorry for that small and glitch. We're off. Now. Okay. Okay, Avenge, are you there? Or we'll move on to the next challenge. No, okay. Sorry. Just in time. Okay, let's start with some Grand Prix attack. So yeah, it's been a while, guys, but I'll try and remember or Grand Prix. Or let's try the interesting 3D4 stuff. Yeah, it's been a while since I managed to stream, so I'll probably be a bit rusty at the start. Bear with me. Not attacking my queen straight away. Do I try and... I can't remember exactly how I'm supposed to do this. That's a Caesar check. Yeah, sorry about the... it was a bit unclear at the start with which place I was going to be playing. Hopefully we can get through as many games as possible. I'll try not making too many blunders. It feels strange to be white. I've been spending my last few months just looking at the King's Indian on the black side. So the pieces look all funny to me. I don't think I was supposed to play the check first. This doesn't feel at all right. But let's pretend it was all part of a cunning plan. Lots of possible squares. None of them look very good. Bit worried that my C2 pawn is a bit weak. Okay. Do I castle queenside? No, too scary. Black has some super souped up dragon here. I'll try and grovel for a bit. See if I can develop all my pieces and then start attacking again. So I'd really like to get rid of the dragon King's Indian bishop there on g7. Let's take, and if it's recaptured with the bishop, I can go knight d5. Hope for some tricks with that queen on c8 against the pawn on e7. That's probably the right way of recapturing. But let's pretend that the d6 square is a fantastic outpost. It doesn't really attack anything, unfortunately. I'm sorry, guys, for the ones who aren't able to get the challenge in. We're playing on the new play zone. You can try on there. I've got quite a few challenges building up. I think my position would be okay if I had a bit of time to get my king safe. Feels like it's improved a bit since the start, at least. Okay. Finally castled. The knight on d6 looks pretty, but it doesn't really threaten anything at all. So I'm a bit worried it's just going to drop off to some f5 and bishop e5 type of thing. We'll see. Do I have any pretty knight move here with this queen undefended? Looking at things like knight c8, but just queen takes it. Probably going to lose on time. Need to move. Does this one work? So if he takes my knight on d6, I can take on e6 and everything is pinned. Bishop just moves. What's my plan? Looking at some knight h5 things. More pins. Let's play first and think later. Pinning is the theme of this game. This is still a bit clumsy, but hopefully so are blacks. Yeah, I've just noticed that my rating on the new play zone is not very high. I guess I've only played the rapid chess from the Champions Tour, so I apologize. You'll just have to beat me. How good are my mouse skills today? A drawn endgame objectively. The randomness of flagging. Not having auto queen on with that cardinal thin there. Well done. A not very convincing start. Let's change my settings so that I have always queen. I think that extra bit of time would have helped there. Okay, need to play faster, especially at 3-0. Okay. Adhus, are you there? I think you are the next challenger, trying to play the first Ripley challenge first. I know it was a bit strange this time, with the challenges weren't coming through for whatever reason. And now I feel more comfortable. I've got my fianchetto set up. Even if it is another London system. I quite like this setup for black. Double fianchetto, I'll exchange a pair of knights on e4 to try and make it easier to play e5 as a break. Grab some space and then try and get some attack. I'll be a little bit more ambitious and keep some pieces on. Now I've got ideas for e5 and e4, forking that Richmond knight. At least after e4 now the game starts being a bit more exciting. The pawns will be interacting with each other. So ideas of taking on d4 and take on e4. Probably should defend it indirectly. I'll go slightly more ambitious again and keep some pieces on the board. Attack this pawn. I should be a bit better now with the bishops. Usually there's not a lot on a blocked position. You have to be quite patient against the London system. Unfortunately, you can't create any huge attacks immediately. As I said, I'm looking at f5, but there's no reason it should work. So I should just get ready for it. My queen is a bit strange on c5. Let's put it on e6 so that I can play f5 later. Yeah, so I'll jump around, play a few waiting moves to get and then play f5. So f5 now wouldn't be a clever move because of bishop c4. So we'll stop that being a possibility. So I won't get f5 in then. So I've got a good bishop on b7 as well. He weakens himself. Anyway. Yeah, let's try and use these dark squares. I know that a few moves ago I said c5 wasn't doing anything, but once white's played f3, it's at least a check. Not sure exactly why I changed my mind about playing f5. I'm hoping to break in with a piece sacrifice, not have to move my pawns at all. Again, I'll try and keep material on. I'd like to have some trick for taking on e3 and jumping my queen over the rook to c5. Not quite working. Okay, there must be some tactics now. I'm going to take on e3 and then bishop c4 with that rook hanging. Moves out of the way. Okay, I can't resist. Let's go for it. Attacking the bishop and attacking the pawn h3. That's as far as my calculation went. The bishop has to go to either e2 to defend the rook or b5. I can sacrifice my queen for 2 rooks by taking on d1. That looks very tempting. I can also take on h3, which is probably just mating. I guess I should go for the mate. So the problem was knight h2, then I could play rook d2. But maybe I'm not mating, in which case the other one was definitely preferable. I'm playing too slowly again. It's going to go to some random flagging. What is it? 3 pawns for the piece. And if I can't get my rook in, I don't really have an attack. Oh, that's a rook. Thank you. Let's get that rook involved as well. Does its job of sacrificing itself. And I'm on the board. Good game, Adults. Interesting. But I definitely need to speed up a bit, or I'm not going to score very well today. Hello, Jup, or Yup. Not sure with the Spanish flag. Let's try Dragon. I know that when I was playing in the World Youth Championships in Spain, I was always Jones. What is this? London system and bishop b5 checks. And I'm trying to play my King's Indian and dragons. At least here I can try and play a bit more aggressively. Did I allow bishop h6 there? Oh, let's go for it. Yeah, I think bishop h6 might have been a good move, last move. Because I couldn't take because of knight f6 fork. It would have been quite embarrassing. I'm not sure if it just won a piece. Oh well, we continue. This e5 way is quite a ambitious setup against bishop e5 check. You keep a lot more material on the board. As you can see, you're trying to attack on the king side, not give white the usual sort of Moxie bind pressure that he's going for. Whether it's any good or not is debatable, but Magnus has played it. I'm dreaming of some sacrificing my bishop, a beautiful combination. Knight to d4, rook takes g2 check, and some mate to appear. Harry can really jump up to 2880 with 1 out of 2. So that's some glitch on the start. 2880 sounds like what my rating is on the old playset. Right, where's my beautiful bishop sack? So I can exchange it for that knight easily enough by going anywhere. I want to see a mate, but let's just skedaddle out of there. So now I'm burning h6 and winning the knight. So I guess I'll move the king. Let's push that bishop back somewhere. Guess he goes to h4. Some cover. Once it's on me, castle and queen side. Let's get that bishop to continue retreating. Unfortunately, here f4 isn't trapping the bishop because of the pin. It can simply be taken. So that's got my king out of the way. Now f4 is a threat. Sacrifice my queen or play bomb cloud. I will try sacrificing my queen in various things. I don't think I'm trendy enough to play the bomb cloud. I'll start with the rook sacrifice. It was begging to be played. The other one comes over. And hope that something appears here. Thanks, David. Yeah, the extra rook here shouldn't really be very relevant. It's all about speed of attack, and I'm quite a few tempi up in my attack over whites. Actually, I'm not going to even be material down after I take this knight. I think that should be game over. There's nowhere safe for this king. Let's keep taking things with check. I have to block, I'll take the pawn on d3. Thanks, yup. Okay, not sure about the quality of my move still, but at least I played a bit faster in that one. Let's try e4 again. Hello, Grunevet. Scandi. I don't want your extra pawn, thanks. You might force me now with c6. Objectively, the best is to draw the bishop back, but it's a bit boring. Okay, now I'll hold on to the pawn. I still will try and give back this material to attack as soon as I can. I don't feel comfortable with extra material. Dump something like bishop takes. d4, c6, d5 or some silly stuff like that. I'll try it. Or I think I need one extra tempo to have castled for any of this to work. I notice this is 3-2, so there's actually time to think a little. But I'll try not to use that option. Now what's going on? I'm a pawn up. We both have a bishop attacked. He can win back the pawn, and then I'm hoping to have some slight initiative. Some take on d2. Probably I'll take with the queen because c3 is a more active square for the knight. I don't know if I can really use the pin. I doubt it. Maybe I should jump with my knight and hit his bishop. Yeah. Yeah, sorry, JJ, though, I'm not sure why I'm 1500 and also 2880 at the same time. But that is me. The season just got postponed for Basha. It was supposed to be in June, that final weekend of the second Bundesliga. We play my Munich team. But yeah, it's going to be August now, which is just as well as us Brits have just been banned from going to Germany. So hopefully they'll have relaxed regulations again by then, and I'll be able to play. But I'd rather play a player like Tal or Fischer or beat Magnus Devig. It's quite hard to play either Tal or Fischer. And it's very hard to beat Magnus. But I think beating Magnus is at least theoretically possible. So I'll go for that option. So what is going on in this position? Let's just go my king safe. I should be better with the better structure. But I prefer to have an extra tempo. I don't want to just be exchanging things. Okay, pass pawns should be blockaded. Not normally by the queen, but my knight was too far away. There's some phrase, right, about how you're supposed to win these pawns. Blockade. In the first one, I can't remember what else you're supposed to do. The typical choice where I want one of my rooks on d1, but which one? Whichever one I choose will turn out to be the wrong one. C file and E file are both looking tempting. Go for that one. I'm probably going to have to play some f3 unless I win on time. Yeah, slightly weakening my position, but hopefully the control of e4 is more relevant. So far this game's become very strategic. Oh. Sorry, Grunewald, too slow. Still an interesting game. It would have been quite hard work to get anywhere there. Blockade and pray for rain. Yeah, that sounds about right. Okay, so no Fischer or Tal, but I do have Miguel Najdorf. Will Mr. Najdorf allow me to play the dragon? Maybe I should play a Dragodorf in honor of his name. It's been a long time since I punted a Dragodorf. So one idea is that I'm sort of throwing that g4 now because there's no bishop b5 check. I can't actually remember what move order we're supposed to play anymore. It's like you start playing the dragon with g6 and then you decide that actually you want to play the knight off instead, and you play a mouse click with g6. That you have to be comfortable leaving your king in the center for a long time, because otherwise you sort of get mated. So I'll play b5, bishop b7, rook c8, and hope for something to appear. Yes, Nashville. It's Nashvilleian chess. It's a quite risky opening, the Dragodorf. There's a reason I haven't played it for a while. But Simon Williams makes a good case for it in his book from a few years back. Not sure if I should have played e5 by now. Before he played knight d5, but too late now. Slightly scared about knight e6. I think I can just take it and run my king to the queen side. Otherwise, it's not so easy to control this pawn on d5. Maybe I can just grab it. That defends it for now. Do I go after it again? Yeah, I don't see why not. At some point I can think about even completing my development and castling, which is a luxury in these lines. That bishop's not going anywhere, so let's develop first. Possibly I should have started with a5. Yeah, I think I should have played a5 last move. He should have put something on that square to try and slow up any queenside play. Like even if I'm losing the pawn on b5, I think it's more important that I can open up the queenside. Are you brave enough to grab this pawn on b5? My favorite modern day player. Growing up, Kasparov was always my role model. Unsurprisingly, I think. And I tried to emulate his style as much as possible, but without the learning theory bit. I tried to copy Morozovic's offbeat openings, and I was almost going to play queen c4, but I prefer to keep some pieces on the board. Yeah, I copied Morozovic's offbeat opening, so I didn't need to know so much theory. But Kasparov's style. These days, I'm still kind of want to, can I discombobulate a bit with bishop a6? Still want to challenge the top guys, so I don't want to emulate them too much exactly, but just take as many of their positive attributes as I can. It's always a bit scary in the dragon, the sack mate stuff. Am I going to get mated? This one doesn't have the increment. So I'm probably going to lose on time trying to figure it all out. Okay, I just need to make a move. Let's just play a random one. I think I was a bit hasty taking on g4. Thank you, Sergey. Yeah, it's been a while since I was streaming. It's been a busy year. But hopefully I'll be back again too. Okay. No idea whether b3 or a3 or if I should do something. I need some open lines over here. Yeah, hopefully I'll be able to stream a bit more often again soon. Having an 11-month-old daughter takes up quite some time. And I'm be busy with my writing projects as well. my couple volumes should be out for quality over the summer. I think next month the first one should be coming out. I just need to move. More certainly going to just lose some time in this game. Just have to click and hope. Yeah, so those books will be coming out. My Coffee House repertoire that was a bit delayed, and then I'm writing my King's Indian course for Chessable, which the King's Indian itself is almost done at this point. So I just have to decide on my choices against things like the Trompovsky and the London system. Okay, well, I should be winning now, but random. I can make the moves in time. Okay, I should speed up a bit. So game Najdorf, interesting fight. And hello, Picarios, no? Not sure the pronunciation. Thank you, Einman. After I just said that I hadn't decided on my alignments against the Trump yet. Okay. This at least is the move I find most annoying when I try it as white. Let's just grab some space. Unfortunately, it doesn't feel like a King's Indian. So you guys have good suggestions for a more King's Indian flavor against the Trump. I'd be happy to hear it. I don't know if I'm actually throwing anything there, but always tempting for the bishop. Looking down at his queen. Now I want some nice move. I can go knight g3 to win the exchange, but I've got a terrible trapped knight at the end. Looking at some knight b4s as well, but I don't think it actually does anything. I'll just retreat first. Throning g5, forking those. Evans Gambit, Wing Gambit. Yeah, I'll give the Wing Gambit a whirl if I get a Sicilian. I got very tempted to try it in the Champions Tour when I was looking through Simon and Richard's Chessable course, where they recommend it. I decided just to go with their Scotch Gambit suggestion for that one. So it's gained a couple of moves with the g3 knight h4, but the pieces look a bit misplaced to me. I'd like to open up the game. c4 is probably more of the correct way of playing strategically. So tempted by knight 64, but I'll play one more waiting move. If he lets me next, I'll sack my knight on d4. Ah, boo, the queens came off. Just have to play sensibly for a few moves until I see any chance to be reckless. I'll angle for e5 to make it a bit more dynamic. Yeah, let's go for it. Try to exploit my better placed pieces. And now bishop pair. But of course it's a bit risky because I left myself with the IQP. Not very happy with that move. Knight f4. Not sure why I gave him a tempo to improve his knight. Let's Let's pretend that it was intentional. Yeah, it's become a bit random. Take on c5. Take on f4 is almost certainly bad. I don't really have the luxury of the time to think about it. Do I have another end game? Another double-edged move. I'm hoping that the squares are more important than the slight weakening. Again, play against this knight. Okay, I'll keep my pass pawn there. Again, I have to play much faster. To d3 or not to d3? That's the question. Seconds. It's going to be another challenge. And the rest of the position is probably equal. You should go knight e3 and stop my pieces moving. Does it work? Let's just push. Leave our pieces hanging. I'm confident I'm winning, but also very close to being mated. I inadvertently defended against his pre-move idea. Not the most convincing win again. Must play faster. Avenge, we already had a game, right? Sorry. So let's try Awake. 1 second increment. Okay, let's see if I can play some Gambit. I'll try and play a Gambit against whatever Awake chooses. If Awake is indeed awake, it's not looking like it. Give another 5 seconds. Or just in time. Okay. Now which Gambit shall I go for here? Declining the Gambit. That's well, I tried with the Gambit. I'll have to try again later. Yeah, well, that's why I was trying this 2b3 Nashvillian. The advanced variation has the Milner-Barry and the improved Milner-Barry stuff. So you can play Gambits there, but Black isn't obliged to go into them. Yeah, Delic, I'll have to stop just going for my flagging. Okay, let's play some weird sort of Grand Prix hybrid. Hybrid of King's India attack and Adaban's 1b3 stuff. I think he'd be very happy with this position. I don't think this is very good, but it looks funny to switch it back into sort of French. No way to put my bishop. I'll just take it. I want to get some f5 in and crash through. Let's try it now. Yeah, there are gambits too and things like the winnow, but that was far too mainstream. It might have been a classical as well. And how to get in here. Start with castle and queenside. I wanted to take on d4 twice, but my rook was hanging on a1. Now I'm probably going to take on d4. So I guess bishop c5. Now I need my kingside attack to bear some fruit. Now how should we do it? Okay, let's open the F file. Offer the E pawn as well. I do it this way. I thought I was going to take with the other knight, defending the pawn on e6. I can grab it now, can't I? I have a sneaky threat here of taking the rook on a6 and knight c7. But he saw it, or at least he prevented it with d3. Not sure where to put my queen, so let's start with a check. Another move that surprises me. Surely you can't leave your king this exposed. I'll take the pawn. Take on g7 was very tempting, maybe better, but I didn't want to let his king run to the queen side. Now I'm going to take on g7 next and mate on the E and F files. I don't think that pawn should be very relevant. Start playing some checks. Be nice to find some pretty way of doing this. I could have collected that bishop as well. So I guess bishop f2. Only way to stop mate immediately. I just thrown that. Okay. Cheers, awake. Okay, let's try. Hello, d4, d5, c4, e6. Sorry, I played the wrong first move for you. Okay, wing gambit time. I don't play d5 there, right? So I'll take my center. I think this one should be quite good compensation for the pawn already. With that big center and open light on the queen side. Now do I want to just keep plowing forward? Or do I play it positionally? I can't decide, so let's push Harry as well. Okay, now I'll have to be a bit more positional and use the g5 square. Should we stop that knight developing? Just defend the pawn on d4. Let's just defend the pawn. Long-term compensation here. I like my bishop on d3, knight on g5, and then hope for some sack to open up his king side. Carry out the plan and see what happens. Not entirely sure how I'm crashing through here. But Probably I don't need to. I can just put on pieces on good squares. This knight on b1 is my worst placed piece. Where do I want to put it? Maybe e3. Okay. We'll kill off that bishop on g7 first. Gives him a square on f5. Maybe I could even consider some sack on h5, but I can't quite figure out how to do it. Okay. Let's go. Open it without actually sacking. Probably should throw in some e6 next. I like this opening suggestion. Thank you, Devik. It was Devik, correct? Apologies if it was someone else who suggested the wing gambit. Even if I protected the, it's not working. It's fun to play. Yeah, I think e6 was actually a terrible move because now after f6, I might struggle to hold on to that pawn on e6. We'd have to make a huge mess somehow, offering the knight on g5. That was probably too hasty. Okay. d4, d5 looks a counterplay instead. I'll grab that rook. A strange position. Who has the weaker king? Answer to which I have no idea. Sort of depends if his queen can land somewhere. I hope that queen on f3 holds all the key squares. Okay. I want to jettison that pawn to open up lines. What is my follow-up? I'm just going to throw I can't play the check. No, for better or worse, that pawn had to be taken. So go on to run to the queen side, eh? I'll stop you going any further for now. Now knight takes d4, yep. So I throw in the check. Okay, weird and wonderful stuff. I'll take. Now, which square? G2. And hope that I don't forget about this pin. And allow some knight e3. Be a bit careless. Takes my rook, and what is going on? If I check, they can go to f6. I don't see another good check. I've got taking on e7, but I don't see it going anywhere. So I'll put more pressure on the knight. As well as the knight, I'm actually throwing mate to 1 by taking it. So I can take on e7 if I have to. Let's develop my final piece first. Bring all the pieces to the party. So I go knight c4 and it's taken. I take on c4, king f6. Do I have any wonderful thing there, or have I burnt my boats? Let's see my follow-up. Okay, let's go this way instead. Thanks, d45. Yeah, the knight was dropping. I'm going to take with the rook. Hello, John Bilbao. And yeah, if I can, then I'm going to. Oh, it's disconnected. 5 seconds. Oh, sorry, Sue Wilder. Bought that one. Yeah, if in doubt, I'll try and make it. As messy as possible. I don't want to recapture things if I can attack instead. Dr. Shack, are you there? Calling Dr. Shack. And hello, the king is lazy. Nope. Not very much luck there. Oh. Hello, Devik. Okay, I'm placing Gambit against you. You can choose. I'm warning you that it's a Gambit. Okay, win Gambit. I'm a bit worried that you probably know more about it than me. So we now have some strange E4, E5. Where my pawn has landed on B5 and the pawn on C7 has disappeared. Just trying to use the fact that there's no C6 square. Now can I magically get my knight to go? Do these arrows look into D6? Play around. I haven't really played enough on the play zone. Yeah, it does. I spend the next hour just playing with arrows. Okay. Sitting queens there, I think, is actually the aggressive option. Keep the king stuck in the center. I want some B6 at some point, but it gives away the C6 square. I'll play it now. That's my next move. Yeah, I'm just playing with the arrows here. Watch out. Uh-oh. Sorry. The wing gambit is working very well. The bayonet, I'm going for 9A5 awake. Okay. I'll still pay homage to Simon and Richard. Go for the hillbilly. Looks like complete beginner chess, but it's got some ideas. Yeah, sorry, David. Yeah, in the bayonet, I'm going for 9A5. Unfortunately, I forgot my analysis when I was playing Duda in the last round of the Champions Tour. And I wasted a tempo and was punished for it. That was the last round, and I was gone by that point after if it was 150 moves against Dominguez and then something slightly less against Vidit. The games are supposed to be an hour apart. I had 2 games that lasted over an hour. And you have to kick a man when he was down. My score was very disappointing, but I had a lot of good positions, and I'm confident that on a different day I'd have more than doubled my score, just in basic tactics that I overlooked. This my King's Indian worked extremely well against Ali Reza, and I was completely winning. But again, I let him off. What am I doing here? I'd be sort of planning to play E5, but that knight just stops it. So I have to change tack. Yeah, you got unlucky in that one, Divik. And Patzer and my style, I think, is just, at least in the Banter Blitz, I've got this one mangled. I try to be as aggressive as possible into the style that I like the most. But my actual classical games, I've had to tone that down in recent years because it all becomes a bit random when you're playing opponents where you should be scoring over 90%. Just giving away rooks with some speculative attack is not the cleverest way of doing it. But still, often I can't help myself. Here I've inadvertently sacked material. I'm going to have to get something to work over on the king side before that 8-pawn queens. It's a bit of a worry. I don't think there was anything wrong with taking the second pawn. So how am I going to do it? Knight f4. I'm not really sure if I've got enough compensation after g5 for enough read any compensation. Okay, let's try and get this knight on d2 is useless. Let's try and get in via c4. Sorry, Dr. Shack. To take and try and open up the route for my knight. Yeah, probably. Okay, I don't want those queens off the board, so I have to go forward. No increment in this one, so it's going to go to a random flagging, I guess, if I survive that long. Do I see either as a serious challenger? He certainly seems to have improved his all-round play a lot in the last year or so. So yeah, he's become one of the elite players rather than simply someone who the elite players were scared of. It's hard to know with so many strong players out there, of course, but either has to be one of the contenders to take on Magnus. If indeed it still is Magnus by that point. Magnus always has to be favourite to retain his crown, but Nepomniachtchi is not going to be a pushover. And that match will be quite interesting as long as Nepomniachtchi keeps focused. The World Championship has hopefully enough of a focus for him. Okay, I think I should be doing well here, but once again, there's no time. Everything's hanging. I missed this. H1, H4 is also. What is it? 2 pawns to the exchange. If I didn't have knight c7, I'd be in a lot of trouble as it is. Oh, he's thinking far too long, giving me a time advantage at this point. It's a cardinal sin in that blitz game. This first hour is giving me a good experience of mates against Queen d6 as well. Good experience of playing these things where I've got no time and just have to make some moves. Okay, Dr. Shack, we can try again if you're there. Keep up with 1e4. I think neutrino that Magnus has to be favourite. Yeah, Jan, when he's on form, is one of the few players who can actually outplay Magnus in certain positions. The only worry is the way he lost the last round was against Ding. once he obviously was no longer focused because he'd won tournament already. But that used to be his old problem of losing far too many games like that, often blitzing into just lost positions. And you can't afford to give Magnus anything. You have to combine being a creative, dynamic player as he is when he's on form with the tenacious defense that Karyakin showed. What's going on in this one? Do I allow the funny knight checks? Actually, I'm very I was happy to allow the checks. I went knight c3. I was worried about queen c2, just exchanging queens. This way, at least, I can consider playing queen e1. How do you wipe the arrows? Anyone know? Let it just stay there until I make my next move. So looks like queen back. Probably Sergei, my style, yeah, it's more like Nepomniachtchi's than Magnus, but difficult to know. I don't think I'm supporting either player particularly in the match. It would just be great to have a close match and excitement. I think it's been very good for chess, having Magnus as world champion, especially in the West. So we don't necessarily want to lose that. But then it's always good to have new blood appear. Which way? D5, B5? Can't decide which is the best way. So the later move. Get rid of this bishop, then I'm going to have a lot of good squares. Well, for me, the king is lazy. Studying opening lines, I kind of keep forgetting what I'm intending. It probably varies from player to player. And it's different from doing your own research in an opening and actually trying to remember what it is you looked at. Two very different disciplines. But with all the new computer programs who are playing chess so differently from the old ones, that AlphaZero style stuff, there's a lot of room for a lot of room for research and interesting positions. So I think a lot of people in their teams, I don't think that was good square for your queen, Doctor. A lot of research for some fun opening ideas. Yeah, thanks, JJ. I think you probably would have won the game if you hadn't stopped to think. Oh, well, I'm not sure. I stopped bishop h5 winning the queen, but there's some downside I can't quite put my finger on. Let's try okay. Still play for mate. Let's open F file, please. You can delay taking it, but I'll succeed in opening this F file in the end. But yeah, with the opening preparation lines, thanks, Doctor. Piece has gotten a bit of a tangle with Queen G6. I think it's quite important to have some summary files and key moments. I know a lot of players use this sort of traffic light system to try and remember what the key moments are. It's impossible to remember absolutely everything. They're generally quite reluctant to take the material on offer. Be patient. Just keep offering that people on indefinitely. As I say that, I'm now tempted to move it just because I can get some time on the night. So if I go d4, is there going to be some annoying queen a5 check after the exchange? I like to just keep moving pawns. I'll develop the piece instead. You never know, you might move the knight. I think what I want to do is bring my knight one of the two ways into f4. h3, e2 looks like slightly more sensible square. Unfortunately, now it's not really a threat because the king just sidesteps to d8. I've got a question about what I'm doing with this knight on b1 as well. I don't think that pawn f7 is running away. I don't need to take it yet. So yeah, once the a5, I think if he blocked with the queen, I could have considered bringing this knight around to chivvy it away. Now, so if I take an f7, so I just have to undo. Take an f7, rook g7, keeps everything. I can sack my queen there, but I don't really believe in that one. I have to go b6 and open up the back rank. I probably do need slightly more stuff in the attack. Okay, let's scrap this one. I'm not at all interested in actually winning a pawn, but I'm just trying to weaken the knight on e6. Yeah, I wasn't sure about my play either. But, the game was fun. What you can expect from wing gambits, after all. So I thought rook g7. Is there actually another move here? I'm attacking the rook and the knight. I don't really understand the thinking. Wow. Okay. Creative. My queen is trapped behind enemy lines. I've already managed to eat a rook. A shame because I was considering, I think I was going to set my queen after all, for the 2 bits and some positional grind in return for queen. So now it's also been a queen sack, but I've won 2 rooks and a knight for it. Not really a sack. Run away somewhere. Maybe h3 wasn't the best way. That was a good reaction. So running out of good squares for this bishop. Be a randomness again. As my clock drifts down. The problem is I still haven't been able to develop a queen side. Okay. I'm not sure A3 can really count as a development knight. This it finally moved off the back rank. That was ugly. Not to tap on the B file. Defending the pawn in D2, and that bishop happens to be trapped. Although he can take and go queen D4. Forking knight and rook. Then I start some checks and see what happens. Yep. Somehow I forgot his king could just sit there. A queen E4 check. Yeah, that was not a good move. And it's a complete mess. I've lost all my extra material. I have to rely on old-fashioned flanking again. Probably still winning the final position. Rook and 2 knights for queen, but that was not the most convincing conversion. Sorry, so I'll just accept random challenge now. People who were there first, hopefully have had their games. Let's keep going with this wing gambit. I'm not sure about the reluctance to recapture on A3. Suddenly I've got this mega pawn on B5. I've not even had to sacrifice any material for it. So this knight is being kicked all over the shop. Thanks. It was a very interesting double rook, or your rook sacrifice. Why I must die. Certainly you discombobulated me. I was wanting to, in that last game, sack my queen to get the light squares. No idea if objectively it was going to work. This is a funny position. The knight on D6 is kind of doing an important job defending the pawn on F7, but it's not very easy for black to make a move. Yeah, because this knight exchange means that now F7 is falling. Okay, let's not allow the mate one. So taking on E6 will be the normal move. Do I have anything? Let's try it this way. I was getting G4 and F3 and things, but I quite like this move. Is that really dealing with my threat? There's something satisfying about developing rooks by swinging them across the second or third ranks. When it works, it is very powerful. Now, I was actually, yeah, I can just take it. I was expecting that move, and I was about to play H3. And then I realized that the queen is simply hanging. I'm not quite sure how. Oh, just don't cry, not here. Okay. Sorry, don't cry for me. Oh, another disconnected opponent. Arrest block. Okay. Third time lucky. Nope, not doing well here. With Ebek also disconnected. I should stop accepting random challenges, evidently. Okay, Sergey, are you still there? Really? I know you're in chat. Yeah, we get a game. By the way, are you guys challenging with the black color? Because I seem to have had a string of whites. I remember my one bishop b5 check. Let's go King's Gambit-esque with some randomness game. Yeah, I had my London system and a bishop b5 check, and I don't remember my other blacks. Everything else seems to be a wing gambit. Not that perhaps I'm using my having the start move to maximum effect, but still strange. So the lack of a pawn on c7 compared to normal means there's no like c6, d5 defense. I don't have the c3 square for my knight. I'm a bit worried that I'll lose my rook to something. These kind of positions, my argument against Fischer random. I don't think we need Fischer random to have fun games. There are various openings out there already if we want them. Maybe we just need the Mr. Dodgy style ban on the Berlin, or at least a ban on the particular Berlin line with A4. That is all the rage. I saw a lot of those following the Champions Tour yesterday. I even saw that Ali Reza on one of them, which was a bit of a surprise. Thank you, Kevin. It's nice to be playing again. I'll be on here a fair bit this week. Hopefully the quality of my moves can improve a little bit. At least I'm finding some fun. So e5, queen c6 into my bishop. I've got a couple of ways of dealing with that. But let's just defend the bishop in readiness. I was also considering bishop d5. I have no idea, by the way, how you would come close to evaluating this position. Start by counting material 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pawns against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've not got around to taking anything at all yet. So I'm 2 pawns down, but I've got and my king is misplaced. But I've got the center. Vote for lead in development. Not so easy to find the right squares of black. I've got the better structure. Probably one of those positions you don't care about who's better objectively. And just try and play some fun moves. Got ideas of putting my knight in on e5, second pawn f7. The pawn missing from c7 is quite problematic, actually. So otherwise, I could want some c6, d5, and block my bishop. Here's some of these arrows, I think. Okay, let's win one of the pawns back. I don't think f4 can be held onto. Putting pressure up on d4. Okay, let's do it a bit strangely. not sure about this idea. I missed. I was going to say forgot again. Okay, so they missed that my bishop is hanging after I exchange knights. So to have some beautiful with some immortal game style double rook sacrifice. I don't really see it. So we'll just try and keep everything together. Now, if I play any waiting move, then I guess the queen is coming into d4. Take it this way. I was trying to take on f7, so castle looked necessary. Come in. If in doubt, I'm fairly confident I'll be able to flag again. Oh, that didn't defend your bishop. So we have bishop h6, queen takes e5 to defend. Let's try. I think that pawn had to be taken, or else queen f6 was mating. Now, do I have any pretty mate here? Take on g7, knight f5, check. King probably runs back into the corner. I could take on f7. Let's try. Threatening mate this way. I think f6 has to be played. Oh, run out of time. If f6, I'll do there. Then I wanted to find some way to play knight g6 check to open up the h file, then move my bishop. I couldn't quite figure out how to do it with the queen. Okay, I should still be winning with my extra piece. Good game, Sergey. Craziness. No, I'm not sure. I guess I'll just keep accepting challenges. But how are we doing the Q&A? Okay, yeah, so I can do both playing and reading the questions. Well, at least I can attempt to. Don't cry when losing. I think you might have spammed me with challenges and then gone offline. Yeah, so guys, I'm ready to listen to your questions. I'll try and answer them. I'll attempt to play at the same time. Let's see if it becomes too difficult. Ruthless decision. Try again. Okay. And thanks, Seke. That was a very fun game. Yeah, I think probably a 3-0 game was just too short for that map. It would have been a great game to play classically. I'll keep my King's Gambit weird approach going. So I'm just trying to read through the questions while also attempting to make moves, which will be just scrolling. My favorite food, Flint Splasher. I like good bread, so if it's like, it doesn't have to be a sourdough thing, but I'd like that kind of thing. But anything made with high quality fresh bread is always super tasty for me. I could live off it. What exactly on it is depends on my mood. Of course, yeah, being English fish and chips is always nice, but don't eat it too often. Find it better when I'm in New Zealand, but not sure if I should admit to that. Okay, let's just cast and see what happens. The king is lazy. Other hobbies. Well, I was playing rugby as well. I enjoy playing and following. And then we also used to play a lot of other board games, the sort of Euro game style. Having an 11-month-old daughter means not so much time for hobbies. But yeah, I think rugby was probably my main one. I'm hoping to go back to it at some point when I get a bit more time. Ruth is going to run into some trouble here with FE and the bishop hanging on E7. Basera Pragananda is obviously a very big talent. He beat me when he was maybe still 11 after I overpressed. He seems to be able to calculate extremely fast and have good nerves. And he's punished me for playing for the win for too long. But yeah, if you can calculate very fast with nerves, it's already a, huh? Can I not take that? It's already a good start. But then again, as I was saying before, there are a lot of these super prodigies out there. Nihal Tharian is also very impressive. With lots of them coming up. So I want to chase F7, almost pre-moved it. Trying to figure out exactly how I'm getting there. It's annoying the knights come to E5 to cover. I'll sacrifice the piece this way instead. Neutrino, my favorite opening. Probably depends what I've been looking at recently. Let's take that. I think with white I jump around a bit more than with black. So probably my black openings are the King's Indian and the Dragon. I enjoy playing the Dragon, but it's probably a bit too forcing a lot of the time. And when I'm playing strong players, especially ones who are happy to make a draw. So yeah, certainly at the moment, King's Indian is my favorite. I've not grown tired of it, even after looking at it for months. You always get good counterplay. And, some fun positions, which is after all what we're playing for. And tried the trompe, a very English opening at some point. Oh, I'm going to lose some time. Speed up. I think it's a rite of passage for all English players to play the Trombowski at some point. I'm impressed watching Julian Hodgson become a world-class player, basically. Drop my pieces. Just playing the Trombowski. Got there. And yeah, it's a bit offbeat, but with some initiative. It's a fun line to play. It's a bit annoying as all these lines that they start to get worked out. Tromboski in some way is a hello crypto. Yeah, in some ways Tromboski is a victim of its success in that it was a very dangerous. Just keep going with this one, Coach. It was a very dangerous sideline that people didn't really know and didn't rate. But now, as people, it's almost become one of the main lines that people have to take seriously, and they've got their lines against it. But still, I think it's certainly something that I'm happy to have in my repertoire to wheel out from time to time. Dombe, Spielman or short? For what exactly? Two of the top British players. Quite contrasting styles. John, I think, has always been far more interested in endgame theory than opening theory. He's just trying to get a position to play. But his understanding of the endgame is incredible. Both of them, yeah, were in the elite, but Nigel was challenging for the World Championship title. So I guess Nigel would edge it on pure chess grounds. I've had enjoyable analysis sessions with both of them. If you get some interesting in game, then John is happy to spend hours looking at all the permutations. JJ, am I satisfied with the chances given for the top 200 to enter into elite? I think it's difficult. Certainly there's been a sort of ring-fenced circuit for the elite players for a long time. I've been very lucky to get a few opportunities to play the top guys. I got a couple chances at the London Classic, one at classical time control and one at rapid, thanks to it being hosted in my country. And then I qualified for, if I can say, main group by winning the challenges. But even the invites to the B group or the challenges are like gold dust. Everyone wants that opportunity. So yeah, traditionally, I don't think there really have been enough. But then it's a bit difficult to know how you should change it. I think it would be nice if there were more tournaments like that, I can say, with a bigger field. I think they're much more enjoyable to watch as well, because you see the elite players playing slightly more risky chess because they really want to win the game. Whereas when it's another tournament with just, they all play all the top guys who play each other so much and they know how strong everyone is, that you have to be happy with the draw as black. Anything risky is going to get punished. So yeah, I think from both a spectator point of view and us lot that are just below the elite, it'd be nice if there were a few more opportunities. The logistics of how to do it is not so straightforward. I understand that sponsors want to have the strongest tournament possible. I like, hang on, let's just put my pieces forward into it. I like having a high rating average. But there have been a few more, like for the candidates, for example, having the open Swiss, not quite open, but the Swiss tournament. Okay, it's an opportunity for more or less any GM to theoretically qualify for the World Championship. And it'll take some work. I can stop Grandmaster if people would prefer after this game and just read your questions. So if you guys would prefer me just to answer questions rather than playing at the same time, then that is I'll do that. Yes, that game was just completely crazy. As I was saying during it, was no idea how to assess. I think my position was easier practically to play. Would people like me to carry on, or should I'll just follow the chat until I see most people say that they want some more games with me. Why is the Nimzo so popular at the top level, Nashvillian? Well, it's a sound opening, I think, is the main thing that White has been struggling to prove any advantage against it for so long. These days, it's not really even allowed. It's quite rare to see 3 knight c3 rather than 3 knight f3. The Catalan taking over. I think things like the King's Indian and Grunthal just sound to a relative value of sound. It depends, because it gives slightly more winning chances, but are much riskier as well. And yeah, Nashvillian. I did find it funny with watching the Gibraltar Women's Grand Prix. Nigel criticizing Fiona for calling the players ladies. And yet, John Spielman has just is a super creative player for analysis. Comes up with weird and wonderful things. But when he's actually playing the games a lot of the time, those things don't appear on the board. It becomes a bit more boring. But I think that's a case of him not really trusting his openings these days. Okay, keep playing from Monkey. Got through some questions, so I'll find some. Is Don't Cry When Losing here this time? Nope, it doesn't say disconnected this time, but we're not getting moved. Sorry, let's try it. Oops, Kitty, are you there? No problem, Crypto. That's the game. Neutrino, I definitely prefer OTB. Oops, Kitty doesn't seem to be here. At least I can answer some questions while waiting. Yeah, the actual moving the pieces is such a nice feeling. It's great having online chess, and it's filling a great gap now, and it's just so convenient to be able to play from home. Yeah, to play so many more games just in time. And I'm even black in this one. What happened? But for me, there's nothing like the feeling of the actual piece in my hand. And let's try the dragon. Transposing to some sharp stuff. So f3 and g4 should be played now. I had a game with Docky, John Nutt, in this line in Banratti years ago. D7 or c6. Let's go c6. But yeah, I just love the atmosphere as well, being at a chess tournament. The tension. That's something that's hard to replicate playing online. at least for me, what to do. I have a sort of bonus bishop g4 over the normal position. I don't know whether that's a good move or not. Zombie, your question after my game with Magnus. People don't seem to believe it, but I wasn't so annoyed. Obviously, I was disappointed that I missed my chance, but it wasn't like I made any huge blunder even. I just made a couple of inaccuracies and suddenly he had good compensation. So, obviously I should have won the game, but I was also a bit unfortunate. And as I said in the interview afterwards, it's not like even a piece up, you aren't really favored against computers these days. So I had not really chalked up the win at all. And then nerves got the better of me. I rotate c3. The exchange sacrifices are mandatory in these dragons. Even going to the endgame. Got good long-term compensation with a better structure. I'll have a pawn for the exchange. But yeah, I just hope to get another opportunity to play Magnus. And if I'm gifted a piece again, then I hope to convert it next time. I don't think I'll feel as nervous. I don't want to take that and allow the rook down to the 7th, or just defend it. Let's just defend it. I will be careful of monkey power. Monkey. Question of how to recapture this. In principle, I prefer to keep an A pawn, but his rooks might find it easier to get in the game as well. A takes rook b2, and I'll play with a knight. Yeah, A takes rook b2, and I couldn't see how I made another constructive move. If I didn't play the kid regularly, what opening would you choose? Cash out. So I sort of evolved from playing the Banker Gambit before playing the King's Indian, but I got annoyed at the fact that I just didn't get the Banker that often as well. The 1 knight f3s, 2 knight f3s. So I played the King's Indian because it was something that I could guarantee that at least I'd get in every game. But I don't just play the King's Indian these days. I definitely need to speed up. Let's go a bit passive to defend my pawn. Yeah, I play the Grunfeld as well. Looking forward to looking through Peter Sidler's course on that. I'm sure it'll be very interesting. Yeah, I'm just kind of used to pinch-hitting my bishop. It was funny. I played Vladimir Kramnik in the London Classic the first time I was invited, when it was a classical tournament, and he played some Reti and tricked me into some position. Now there's no difference to my rook and around. Yeah, tricked me into some position I didn't know in a Reti, and he played a nice exchange sack and won a nice positional game. But afterwards, he told me that he noticed it was a nice try to g4, but I'm still going to do the same. He noticed I always wanted to play with the fianchetto, so he would try to avoid it. So I think he played 1 knight f3 and 2 b3. And I hadn't actually considered it myself until he said it. Okay, oh yeah, that's right. So in the d4 openings, I have tended to fianchetto. He's just seeing whether. Showing that pawn is still on the board. Okay. Let's see if we've got time for one more. Nice. Okay, let's try to. Okay. I've ended, it looks like we played the first game. Neutrino, are you there? Thank you, Nash Vivian. It's been good to be back. And I think we have to have a dragon to finish, right? Unfortunately, we don't get a dragon. Oh, well. I'll still play dragon-like moves. E6 or, yeah, we'll go E6. The other plan is some D6 and bishop G4. Let's just ask the question at bishop. This position is quite nice for black, I think, well, especially now I've got the bishop pair. It's very flexible about how to play. Probably going to expand on the queen side with b5, especially with that knight on a4. You can even consider playing f5 and attacking on the king side. But yeah, let's try rook b8. Ask this knight what to do. I think b5 is good. And thanks, Dombe. I think those two books are more or less holding up still. It'll be interesting to see where Anish diverges in this new course he's doing. Bit of a surprise, his announcement that he's doing a course on the dragon. I don't remember ever seeing him play it, but then I'm not sure he really played the French either before doing that course. So his theoretical knowledge and work ethic are so high that I'm sure it'll be a very good course. That's another 4 to that neutrino. Maybe we've got time to squeeze one more in. Yep, Anish is currently doing one, which was a surprise to me. But okay, see if we can get time for one more. Probably not. Don't cry. Tokemadita, are you there? Next neutrino. I think knight a4 was a bit vague, but I find it quite hard to. No, it doesn't seem like it. Don't cry when losing. I'll just reject that. Ruthless decision. Are you still there? Yep. You get a bonus in another game. I get the blacks. It's the dragon draw. It's a loss usually. I haven't actually found any theoretical problem in the dragon, so I was happy to play it again in the Champions Tour. There's the only problem with it, like compared to a Nidal, is that the lines are quite a bit more narrow. So it's an advantage in that it's easier to remember as black, but a disadvantage if you're playing a highly prepared opponent. I think I only find it really if I'm playing a sort of strong IM who's well prepared for my dragon, and then they'll play some long forcing line to make a draw. That's the main reason that I'm not playing it more often. Going that way. Let's see. I'll try and split this diagonal. But yeah, I think as far as I know, the dragon is still sound. Can I do some? What happens? Let's see. Take this. An overloaded knight. But at the top level, they prefer to play the Berlin if they want to make a draw. Downside of your opponents know everything. Don't stride. Bad because you h4, g4, f4. Yeah, but you're getting your own play. If you can't face being attacked, then the dragon is probably not for you. But you get attacked, but you also get your own attack in, and it comes down to tempi, move by move stuff of whose attack breaks through first. I've never really been worried by the caveman approaches. The positional ones with knight castle queenside are a bit more challenging. Even there, I think black is fine, but it needs to be accurate. I think I didn't manage to be against Nakamura, for example. Yeah, naturally, the plans are kind of. I don't think they're so easy for white. I know that Fischer didn't rate the dragon, but people weren't playing the dragon very well. So I think he would run into a lot of trouble if he tried playing the same way these days as white. Cash out, both a course and a book on the King's Indian, in fact. There'll be a course for chessable, and then I'm going to turn it into a book with quality chess. Not entirely sure when either will be out, but I'm trying to get them finished as soon as possible. So I'll keep you guys informed. I think this will be the last one. Got to go and take over baby duty. But yeah, this was another. These kind of tricks with Queen B6 that we had earlier in the game are quite instructive in the dragon. It's an opening very like the English with colours reversed. You go for the same structures. And if white isn't accurate and just tries to play some sensible looking moves, then can easily run into a bad positional, a bad structure, and just be worse positionally. Here I need to be a bit careful that I'm not getting myself mated. Everything's under control. Like a lot of Sicilian lines. When white plays open Sicilian, they're saying that I'll mate you. But if they fail, I've really messed this one up. Ruthless Decision has found a lot of counterplay all of a sudden. Can I get somewhere with my rooks? But yeah, if white fails in his bid to mate, then he'll be really struggling. Do I take that pawn? Just run away. Let's try just running away for now. Now, I need my rook from g8 to land on that c1. I don't quite see how to do it. So it might be it's another flagging. Can I be super greedy and grab this pawn h3? I guess. Yeah, I think I could. Well played, Ruthless. Got a bit too short on time there. That was a good comeback. I don't live in London, so difficult question for me to answer, but probably Hampstead, because I like the countryside. Hampstead Heath. I live up here in Sheffield in Yorkshire. Much better. Anyway, thanks everyone. I hope you've enjoyed the banter and some Q&A. I'll be back again on Wednesday, I think. I think it's at the same time. Yeah. I'm doing some checkmate patterns, which I'm dreading, but hopefully I'll be able to find some, or it'll be a bit embarrassing. No, don't worry. I used to live in Acton. I couldn't afford to live in either Hampstead or Camden. But thanks, everyone. Yeah, I'll stay tuned for the Champions Tour. It's coming up in about an hour, I think. And I'll see you guys on Wednesday.